Hello, today we're going to be comparing the Legacy GT and the MazdaSpeed 6 in sort of like a review-ish. We don't drive them, but you'll get the points. We got to cover all that's good and bad about the Speed 6 and the Legacy GT, what makes the Speed 6 better, what makes the Legacy GT better, to ultimately decide what car is better for you. Let's go. So why these two cars? Why are we comparing? Why are they so similar? Well, you see, I think of a Speed 6, I try to think of its rivals, I really try. The Legacy GT is the only one I can think of. I mean, there's cars like, you know, the Mondeo ST220, not really comparable, it's a lot slower. I believe it's NA, it's front wheel drive. There's also then bigger stuff like the Commodore V8. That's full-on muscle car, it's rear wheel drive, V8, yeah. So when you come to thinking, you know, the sort of Jap all-wheel drive turbo performance sedans like a bigger STI, there's the only time a bigger STI is better. These two cars are the only cars there really are. However, at the end of the video, we're going to talk about a car that has a 2.8 litre turbocharged V6, putting out 280 horsepower, and it's 200 kgs lighter. It's still a performance sedan. We'll talk about that at the end, because apparently that's how you get people to watch through, but I know basically everyone will just skip through if they want to see that, so yeah, cool. But anyways, specs, performance, all that. First, the Legacy GT, you can have a 2 litre or a 2.5. We're going to talk about the 2.5. Now some people swear that the 2 litre is better, it's more rallying heritage, higher redline. You know, there's a low down torque of the 2.5. The 2 litre, it feels quite a lot like it needs that turbo. It feels really sort of gutless down low. We've got to talk about the 2.5. And that 2.5 puts out 250 horsepower, 250 pound-feet of torque. While the Speed 6's 2.3 litre turbo, as we all know, 274 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. But don't be fooled by that. You see, the Legacy GT is 70 kgs lighter, weighing in at 1,540 kgs. Then you combine that with the Speed 6's close ratio 6-speed gearbox. The Legacy GT is faster. 0 to 100, Legacy GT 5.4, Speed 6 5.8. In the quarter mile, the Legacy GT is done in 14 seconds, while the Speed 6 is like 14.2. The Legacy GT also has a superior all-wheel drive system. That Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive system is one of the best out there. And the Speed 6 is your typical on-demand system, quite an aggressive one, but just not as good. And the Legacy GT is also cheaper. So have we answered it already that the Legacy GT is better, it's faster, it's got better all-wheel drive, and it's cheaper? No, that's not the whole story. If you are enjoying, drop a like. If you're not enjoying, drop a dislike. Thank you. But now we will get into the point where the Speed 6 excels. Let's talk about handling, the way it drives. The Legacy has got more body roll. It also understeers more. And although the Speed 6 is heavier...
What did he say?
Although the Speed 6 is heavier, it feels lighter, it feels sharper, it feels more eager and energetic. It's a funner car, you know, to take around corners, to accelerate, and in fact, right, the Speed 6 is the only MazdaSpeed that's ever been on Top Gear, and listen to what Jeremy Clarkson says about the Speed 6.
Right, let's stick it into the hammerhead, see what's what. Here we go. Back coming round nicely. Give it a bit of power. That's very good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. The Legacy also has less mechanical feel through the steering and the gearbox. In fact, the 5-speed gearbox in the GT is quite bad. It's only got 5 speeds first of all, which means the ratios are a lot longer. It also just feels worse, and it likes to blow up at like 260 wheel.
How's the trans holding up? Fine, man. I don't know how.
What did he say?
What are they rated for? Like, no, what I'm pushing. How's the trans holding up? Fine, man.
that's not everything you want from a gearbox. It's, yeah. Then following on with another area where the Speed 6 excels is modability. On a Speed 6, you've got stock turbo, where you can get to 320 wheel horsepower. Stock block, 390 is reliable as a 390 wheel horsepower modified car can be. However, then we go to the Legacy GT. Like I said, its trans like to blow up at like 260 wheel horsepower, and the stock block's only good for like 360, 370 wheel. And when you are pushing that limit, it is much more unreliable than pushing the limit on a Speed 6. So yeah, if you want to make big power, go Speed 6. It is far superior, far easier, and far cheaper to make power. Now I know some Subaru boys will be here thinking, well nah, if you treat them with trans well, you know, you don't launch it that much, your trans is good for like 300 wheels.
But what are they rated for? Like, not what I'm pushing. But the thing is that people like launch them and that's when they break. Yeah.
That's not that impressive. The Speed 6 can do 320 on a stock turbo. Right, in fact, I've seen people say, oh yeah, the trans are good for like 300 wheel, as long as you don't launch it. I didn't launch and all, I treated it well, and it blew up, but they are good for 300 wheel. Look, if you treated it well, you didn't launch it, and it blew up at 300 wheel, it can't hold 300 wheel.
Wow!
All it can hold is like 260, 270-ish, and then you're done. And we go with reliability. Don't get me wrong, the Speed 6 does have a few issues, but it's nothing compared to that EJ25. It's got, you know, the head gasket problems, everyone's heard about them. The rods like to go. The trans also, like we just said, it's not a very bulletproof engine. Honestly, not many engines are. The Speed 6 is more reliable. That boxer engine, the sound of it is freaking lovely. The best sounding 4-cylinder. Then we move on to the interior. The Legacy GT, its seats are more comfortable. It's got a Momo steering. It's got heated seats. Heated seats! Wow! It's also got a clutch that's much easier to drive with. And a touchscreen. A touchscreen! Now, just remember it's one from 2007, so, you know, try use a 2007 iPhone if they... Did they even make an iPhone in 2007? You know, it's got to be quite a hard experience to use, but from what I hear, it's actually pretty easy to use. However, the Speed 6 has got a better turning radius. In terms of looks, the Speed 6 sort of looks more beefy in my opinion, while the Legacy GT looks far sleeker, so it depends on what you like. For which ones the interiors look better, personally I think the Legacy GT interior looks better. I know some people prefer how the Speed 6 looks, so yeah. But remember at the start I talked about some like performance sedan? Yeah, well that was the Vectra VXR. It has a 2.8 litre V6 turbo that puts out 280 horsepower. It weighs 1,370 kgs, which is like 170 less than the Legacy, and 240 kgs less than the Speed 6. And it's not just an engine game, you know, it's also got nice bucket seats. However, that's about all that's good with this car. You see, you remember that review of the Speed 6 that Jeremy Clarkson did? In that review, he also did the Vectra VXR, and listen to this.
That's appalling! This has to be one of the worst chassis I've ever come across.
One of the worst chassis. That sums it up. This thing understeers horrifically. It cannot hold the power. It is crazy what they did. Kind of stupid. Another complaint I had was torque steer, but you know, torque steer is pretty fun. I'm fine with that, but the understeer is ridiculous. And that's why we didn't talk about. Also, you know, it's front wheel drive. Yeah. Then let's get into the end of this. Legacy GT or Speed 6? So what makes the Legacy GT better? It's cheaper. It's faster. Its all-wheel drive system's better. And its interior is nicer for the most part. However, the Speed 6, it handles much better. It has more feel, it's more moddable, and it's more reliable. So there will be people that prefer the Legacy GT, and there will be people that prefer the Speed 6. I may be biased, I prefer the Speed 6. that's the thing with cars. Anyone can prefer whatever they want. Like, you know, the Focus ST versus the Speed 3. I like the Speed 3, but I still do see there is a place for the Focus ST. And yeah, that's cars for you. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.